Hello, everybody watching live on YouTube and live on Twitch. This is Vince Russo. I'm here with the great Billy Body of LockBetting.com, bro. Here's where we give you a little tease, a little preview of the nitty gritty dirt show that's over on patreon.com/Russo TWC. Billy, what's going on today, my friend?
How you doing? Was it only last Friday Wobbly Walrus debuted? Because that was a free story.
The Wobbly Walrus, and you were the only one that talked about it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that was just basic. I mean, I don't get what these guys are doing where they're not even doing their job. It's all right having insiders in the company, and this can fluctuate between source to source or journalist to journalist. But if you can't even look through a trademark list and see if there's anything that could be a potential story, like how are you calling yourself a wrestling journalist, and obviously being eclipsed by someone who does this casually with you and a little bit on my Patreon? So I think it's really embarrassing at this point that ended up being right.
No, I agree with you. And bro, see, here's the difference. I think people need to understand this. You know, Billy has sources that and guys, I've been saying this for years. Billy has sources that aren't necessarily the boys. And guys, what have I been telling you for years? When the boys are your sources, there's always something for the boys to gain. They're not just giving you information because they like you or that you're their friend. They're giving you information to gain something, to either gain favor, so your dirt sheet will constantly put them over, or to bury somebody else. That's what the dirt sheet writers are used for. And I've said that years and years and years. The fact that Billy talks to other people besides the boys really brings a lot of credibility, Billy, to what you report.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're all marketing people, and it all stems from it stems from way back from obviously there's a link to gambling now where the guys want to get involved in that. But actually, an interesting story I don't think I've ever spoke about is that there's a company called Outside PR who used to run the PR for Big Brother, and they were the same PR company that WWE used. So I actually had the same agent as a lot of the guys, and got the straight route into the 2007 house show tour, where they used me as a heel for the house shows to like go and talk crap about the town that we're in and how much I hated it, etc. And I mean, you've seen you've watched my Big Brother stuff, and you told me yourself that I was a tailor-made heel, and they agreed with you. So yeah, they got me on the house show circuit in November, and that was off the back of the same PR company. So I kept friends with some of those guys, but what I will say is that it's a very quick turnaround. It's a vast turnaround of people. I'd say the average amount of time that people stay in that company is about a year, because people are like coming and going so fast. And I don't know if that's because of Vince or the company overall. I think it's an overall company problem, because in departments where they probably don't even engage with Vince, people are leaving.
Yeah. What is that? Is that you or me, bro? Somebody got an egg timer going on, bro? Hold on. Let me make sure.
I think it's me. I'll turn it up.
Okay. All right, Billy, give me a tease of what we're going to talk about today on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show.
Okay, we're going to talk about contracts, ones that are coming up, ones that have been re-signed, and why. We're going to add some facts, much needed facts, to some of the stories that are going around that people are just making up. We're going to talk about WrestleMania. We have an update on that in terms of where it won't be, and why it definitely won't be, and how things are moving forward. We're going to look at the Raw rating on Monday more deeply in terms of how to analyze what actually happened there with the rating that they ended up getting, because we were the only ones talking about the fact that this rating wasn't going to drop below 1.5, because the analysts had already determined that they already lost the type of viewers that would watch the NFL anyway, and that proved to be correct, because it was only a 2% drop. But the more worrying thing is that the amount of people that actually watched television on Monday. So they could have, even with the NFL, done a big number of people were still interested in wrestling. We're going to talk about people coming in, and we're going to have an update on the retribution situation. And then we'll just usually like do our chit chat about the week of TV and stuff. Namely, I think the only development this week was it looks like Ray's daughter's going to be in a romance, and I think the rest of the Raw was completely missable, which we both knew that the momentum was going to go, because we both spoke about it, and everybody
Billy,
criticizes.
I've been citing you all week long. Bro, remember the week prior to this Thunderdome and what WWE thought this meant? Remember you reported on all this, bro? This was going to turn the company around, and I was like, bro, like, as long as the creative is still bad, the novelty of the Thunderdome is going to wear off. Billy, I think that's already happened 3 weeks in.
Well, they're very happy with their SmackDown number, and even to the point where we're seeing Sasha brought back very early tonight. Let me tell you, as a fan, Sasha Banks isn't wholly responsible for this number that you're doing. I think there's such a heavy emphasis put on Bayley and Sasha, and I'm happy with all of their work that they've done on and off. Like we're looking at a very low bar, and I think when this bar is.
All right, I'm sorry, Bailey and Sasha just wanted to chime in, bro. Go ahead, Billy.
No, but I think what the bar is, admittedly the bar is very low. But at this very low bar, they've been very consistent throughout this period, especially with the lockdown situation and everything that we've had. So they deserve to take this story through to Mania. For them to turn around and say, we're going to pull this story forward and throw Sasha on TV early because we feel like we want to hold this number. They're not holding the number. The only person holding the number potentially is this turn for Roman that we've wanted to see for a long time. And there may be curiosity of things that on Raw, like Raw Underground and Retribution and whatnot. That seems to be losing steam quicker than the Roman thing. The Roman thing seems to be holding. Plus, Fox is a far more easier network to get a hold of. I mean, it's network TV, so it's easier to see. That's why. And that should, I mean, the thing they should be looking at is how did we go so low on Fox, not how well we're doing now. They should have asked themselves, how did we ever drop below 2 million on this channel? That was ridiculous to me, as opposed to now being where they're at, which is this very average number, but they're celebrating it and they want to do everything they can. I hope for Sasha's sake that she just gets attacked again tonight and they double down on the situation, and she doesn't end up having to fight at Hell in a Cell against Bayley, because they should get the Mania program. What were your thoughts on the only storyline development, which was Aaliyah and Buddy Murphy? Like, what's that about?
Billy, before I get to that, like, Bailey's bugging me on the other line. She wants to say hello to you, Billy. Is it okay?
Go.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, you happy, Bailey? Okay, Billy. But you know, bro, that's my problem with the WWE, Billy. I don't have any confidence in them. Like, when I see that, yeah, bro, let's see this thing play out. Let's go somewhere with this. But it's like every time, bro, like it's just a week or two before it shits the bed. So I'd like to see them go someplace with this, but I just have zero confidence in their creative at this point, bro.
Yeah, it's very awkward in terms of like how that even came about, because like Vince is behind it, and I don't know. It's interesting to see like how it plays out, whether it's going to be some kind of romantic thing, whether it's
what is Vince McMahon's idea of a romance at 74 years old, whatever he is? You know what I'm saying, bro?
I don't know. I would imagine that he's turning around and going, they had her when she was they had her on TV when she was a kid. So like, I think they want to follow through with the story, and they feel that they own. They want to show this kid growing up on their TV. That's the only, and I can imagine, because Vince did that with Stephanie. Like that's the thing. We saw her on TV. The next thing we knew, he wanted to like advance her through, get her married, lose her virginity. He wanted it all to play out on TV, and I could just see him having the same thing. It's like, we own this little girl.
No, that's quite possible, bro. You can who knows how Vince thinks. All right, bro.
You know how Vince thinks.
Yeah, but I don't know how Vince thinks at 74 years old, bro. I knew like a 50-year-old Vince. I could not tell you what goes through that man's mind today.
Well, as bearing in mind, Vince, that he probably hasn't watched any TV shows, hasn't been to the cinema, hasn't been to the movies, doesn't watch any sports, and hasn't left his office for 20 years. I don't think it's going to be the same person. I mean, he's just basically gone from office to arena to arena. Where does he holiday? Does he holiday at all?
No, are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Listen, Billy, do you watch AEW?
I do, because I like to think that I'm like professional at my job. So
okay. Well, Billy, listen, you guys that don't know Billy, Billy's was a big star in the UK over on Big Brother. You can look him up on a YouTube, and the clips I've seen, bro, Billy was the coolest, the smoothest talking man on the show, far and away. Billy, with that being said, based on this week's AEW, do you have any wardrobe tips for Tony Khan? I mean, bro, let's face it. Tony Khan appeared on the show like a hobo. He was wearing a T-shirt and shorts. I swear to God, I thought it was a PA. Bro, I thought it was a PA. Freaking Disco had to tell me, no, Vince, that's Tony Khan. Bro, can you have any advice to Tony Khan how he should represent and present himself on television, bro?
I think I'm actually literally wearing a T-shirt and shorts right now.
You're Billy Body, bro. You're Billy Body. He's not Billy Body, bro.
I think I've hit that age where I don't care no more. So, but yeah, I don't think it concerns me how Tony dressed. I was more concerned, well, to be honest with you, how Miro Rusev was dressed in that Mickey Mouse T-shirt and the pink jogging bottoms. Like, this guy must be on.
Wait. What'd you say? The pink jogging bottoms?
Yeah, what do you call them? Tracking.
I like that. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
What's America for jogging bottoms?
Tracksuit.
Tracksuit.
Shorts. Just shorts.
No, these are long bottoms. So they're not shorts. He was wearing tracksuit
jogging bottoms.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you were concerned with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was worse. He was wearing pink joggers and he was wearing an extra large Mickey Mouse T-shirt. And he's going to be a monster on this brand apparently, and is obviously on a big contract. I would assume, based on a story that I've got on AEW. Actually, I don't know if this AEW story is my biggest story or my smallest story. You guys can be the judge on the other side.
Okay.
But I do have a story about AEW here that I want to talk about, and in terms of where their business model is going. It's actually linked to certain people that want out of WWE, and it links together with why they want out, and in terms of some people playing the waiting game as to see if AEW was around in a year, whether they were going to continue to throw money around, whether they were going to look at it and move backwards. Because a lot of times in business, we see it here in soccer with the English Premier League. Some people buy Premier League football clubs, they realize how big the overheads are, and they can't. And it's not as easy to just buy your way to the Premier League title. You can't just win first place by just buying the best players and investing here and there and whatever. And obviously they're becoming a global brand in this instance, which is also the same for Premier League and NFL teams, etc. Does take a lot more investment than you originally realize when you take things on board. And then once it's 1% of your fortune, people don't care. Once it starts becoming 25-30% of your entire fortune, then people start to backtrack from it. I think people wanted to take that wait and see approach with AEW, and I think around about now people are deciding that this company, to quote their own phrase, are all in with what they're doing. So
I'm interested to talk about that. Okay, Billy, tell everybody before we jump over to Nitty Gritty Dirt Show about lock betting. What's going on over there, bro?
Oh my word! Well, we had a 100% week in the NFL last week. It was unbelievable. Everything that we gave out, So I wasn't 100% on the NFL in terms of my podcast. I have to pick every game, but I was 13-2, and I turned.
That includes points, right, bro? Not just winning. Holy shit, Billy!
In the official plays, we were 7-0 against the spread. So when me and Cav were doing the show, we're doing our podcast where we talk about every game. I ended up going 13-2, and he ended up going 11-4. So we did really well on the show anyway. But the consensus picks, because I have a team that work on the American stuff, and we only give out to members consensus picks. So 3 people have to love it before it gets to you. and the 7 plays that we loved, they all won. All 7.
My God, that's insane. I hope you gave him the disco. Did disco have him?
Disco did have him, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible, bro.
Disco cleaned up on the soccer because we also had a 100% sweep on the start of the Premier League. And I know he had that because he DM'd me about it. And that included, so I do this thing on my podcast where I give the lock, which is the strongest play. Then we do a little parlay. Then we do the underdog. Last year, the underdog won 25 times and lost 21 times. That doesn't sound good, but it's an underdog. It's not supposed to win. So you're supposed to, if you win like 15 out of 40, you're going to win a load of money. Like you're supposed to win this. I mean, you need to land about 10% of these to break even.
Yeah.
Like, so we were landing at like over 50% on the underdogs. And we started last week with a 3-1 underdog, which is Newcastle against West Ham. So we're coming off 11-2 soccer, 4-0 tennis US Open, 7-0 NBA, and 7-0 NFL as we do this show. So like if you did sign up last week, and here's one thing I'm going to say, because I am getting guys from this show, and I'm going to be totally honest and transparent with you, because as much as I love signups, I don't love this question. How do I gamble? Where do I go and open an account?
Yeah, because that's what somebody like me would ask, bro. That's what I would ask.
What does this mean? Now, I have too many clients to address that question. You must come on board with a minimal knowledge of gambling. You must know how to bet. You must know where to bet. And you must understand what certain terminology means. You must know what a single is. You must know what a unit is. You must know what a parlay is. Like, I can't get down to this very basic level. I can explain in-depth markets. And to help you guys, I've got 2 tutorials up there. One, they're called Soccer in 20 Part 1, Soccer in 20 Part 2. That's exactly what it says. It's soccer in 20 minutes, Part 1 and 2. So if you listen to those, you'll familiarize yourself with soccer. There's also a Q&A show. I do a Q&A show every single month. I do a Q&A show. So if you have questions, jump on the Q&A show. Go in at a lower tier, and then once you understand everything, practice, and then jump up to 125. Because as much as like I want people to sign up, I'm not going to be a teacher for you guys at that kind of level. I can teach you with above basic gambling. I can teach you all the terminology and help you out on WhatsApp, because one of the things you get for 125 is you get direct chat to me. So you get 24/7 access to me for me to explain everything. But when it's a case of how do I gamble, what sport is this?
Yeah, no, they got to know the fundamentals, bro. You
gotta have an interest in sports betting. You've got to have a small interest. Like in Vince's case, he's made it very clear if he comes on board, it'll be for baseball. If I give him a baseball bet, he'll be fine. Because he already watches it. If you don't watch soccer at all, that's fine, because you'll be able to gamble. You're probably a gambler. If you're not a gambler and you're not a soccer fan and you're not anything but a wrestling fan who's never laid a bet down, don't sign up to me.
Yeah. There's too much of a learning curve, bro. You don't have the time for that. Yeah, no.
And that's me.
You know what's great? Bill, you know what's great, though? What's great is the way you lay that out. You tell people that up front. I like that, bro. That's what's freaking awesome about you, man. You're not pulling any punches. You're telling people that straight out. You got to kind of know the game to get into the game, bro. And Billy can't help you with that because he's too busy invested in the game. That's very noble of you to say that up front, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, I have started producing content for people, but I've never had to go that low down. Now I see that people are coming through. I will simplify the tutorials, and I will start right at the bottom, and there will be stuff out there. But to get that content, you only need to be paying $10 or $15. You don't need to be paying $125. Get comfortable down the bottom, listen to the podcasts, understand what you're doing, and then come up. Don't start at $125 because I can't probably help you. So, okay.
So give them all your other plugs too, bro. Lockbetting.com. Tell them about your podcast. We got to talk about Austin's Toys. Give them all of it.
All right, let me see where Austin. Can you get in for a second? All right, so I'm at thedirtysheets.com, which is where all my wrestling stuff is. On the $5 tier, you can get all the wrestling news that me and Vince talk about. You can get the betting picks for wrestling and UFC at the $40 tier on there. That's thedirtysheets.com. My Twitter is Vince, help me. What is it? 30 Sheets Com now, right? At 30 Sheets.
At Dirty Sheets Com, yes.
And my gambling Twitter is at SGPEPL, and that's where all my P&Ls are put. So you can see the month of August on my pinned tweet. 100% transparency. Austin's Instagram is at Austin's Toys. He's here, and because
What's up, Austin?
He just sent you an Instagram message.
I saw it this morning.
Yeah, he said he was going to get the story for his Instagram listeners. He was going to ask you the question, so you can ask Vince.
Who's your favorite 5 Intercontinental champions ever?
Wait, say that again. Who's my favorite? What?
Intercontinental champions ever. 5.
Wow.
We posted a signed figure of the Honky Tonk Man, who I have as the second best Intercontinental champion of all time. And then I put my top 5, which was Savage, Honky, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, and Mr. Perfect. So Brett is just outside. And then he did his top 5 of his era, which are not great, but it's his time. And then he said he was going to get yours.
So do I got to give him an order?
If you can, but otherwise.
Well, I would say number 1, without a shadow of a doubt, was Savage.
Oh, same as me.
Because that's where it kind of started, and then we saw the rise. Number 2, Billy, I got a lot of what you got. One of the most entertaining Intercontinental champions of all time, of course, the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, and that's the video you guys can see. So you see that figure being signed, and Honky's every time I've met him, he holds a figure up. He holds it up and he goes, "You want a photo like this? You want a photo like that? You want a photo with me?" He understands collectors.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
Warrior was Intercontinental champion, right? Warrior?
Yeah, your friend Warrior.
That would be number 3. Let's see. Wow, Shawn Michaels was an Intercontinental champion?
He was a champion while you were there, while you were writing for the magazine. He was mainly the champion.
Intercontinental. And my number 5 would be different, bro, because I thought he was very, very, very entertaining early on when he first came into the WWE. I think Jeff Jarrett was my 5th favorite Intercontinental title. Old Double J.
So you got that, Austin? Yeah. You got those?
Yeah.
All right.
Who's Jeff Jarrett again?
Who's Jeff Jarrett? Vince knows.
You should show Austin some of those old Double J. What was it? JEFF. He would like that. Austin would like that.
You want to see? I'll show you Jeff Jarrett later.
Yeah, he would like that. He'd be entertained by that.
I'm surprised that you haven't gone for The Rock because you booked that whole run and their belt.
Well, you know what? Stanley on here, bro. Just threw somebody else on here, bro. God, there's a bunch of them. Chris Jericho was an Intercontinental. China was Intercontinental, and Razor Ramon was an Intercontinental champion, bro.
Yeah, I know Razor. He was just outside mine. The reason I've gone for mine is Savage and Honky had the longest runs. Savage's one got him ready for the world title, and that's what the belt is supposed to do. That's why I put Honky in between, because he was a standalone Intercontinental champion that had generated so much heat he could take that belt onto a house show, which I think was and then when Perfect came along, he was able to do that too. Yeah, he was able to work house shows with the belt. So that's why I've got them at 3 and 5. But 2 and I've got them at 2 and 5. But 1, 3, and 4. All of these 3 guys, we're looking at Savage, Rock, and Shawn, all use that belt to catch the eye for people to turn around and say they could get the next belt. And I think that was the point of the belt.
That's what the point of the belt always used to be. They have so lost sight of that, bro. That's what that belt was all about, man.
But I'm shocked that I thought the Rock for you to be 1 and 2 because you booked the run and he got over with the belt. So
yeah,
maybe you're going to rethink about it now.
Yeah, I got to rethink that. Austin caught me off guard. All right, Billy, listen, we got to jump over to the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show. Guys, all that news, man, we're going to get over there. I can't wait to hear about this AEW news, WrestleMania, bro, contracts, etc. We're going to get all that at the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show. That's on patreon.com/Russo TWC. Guys, check out lockbetting.com. Especially now with football in full gear over here in the States and the baseball playoffs coming up, basketball playoffs happening. Check out lockbetting.com. Okay, bro, for me and the great Billy Body, we will see you over at patreon.com/Russo TWC.